I think I always did. I have been sailing all my life. I grew up in Chichester Harbour in a little village called Boston. And from age 5, I was sailing with my father. And then from about 9 or 10, sailing on my own in a gull, a little single-handed gaff rig sailboat, a little dinghy. So I was always sailing and always looking at boats and drawing boats. And yes, it was, I think it was ordained almost that I should be a yacht designer. It wasn't probably what my father thought or my mother thought I should do, but as a dyslexic, I found it very hard to do the mathematical, reading, normal educational things, so drawing boats seemed to come very easily, and I enjoyed it. I trained first of all after school. I went to St Martin's College of Art and did a foundation in art. And in that time, it was a 1-year course to help you understand what you wanted to do. I finished it loving screen printing, photography, sculpture, but I really wanted to be a sculptor, I suppose, and the sculpturing side, working with your hands, building something was always fun. And I always enjoyed working with my hands and doing something. From there, I went to Kingston College of Art and did a 3-dimensional design course. Halfway through it, I wanted to do a yacht design, and I didn't feel that I could be happy unless I was trying to draw and design a yacht. So I found a way to get a tutor, and very luckily I met with the only man I think in the world at the time who had any form of studio size was John Vandenberg, and he was about 11 people in the studio. At the time I met him, he was doing Nabila, which was the largest yacht in Italy at something like 84 meters. So he was doing very large and also very small boats. When I was at John, the first one I worked on was actually an apartment in North London, in Regent's Park. And that helped me to understand technical drawings, client requirements, and working in the studio. I was also sitting next door to Tim Hayward, who was working next door to me at the office there at John's at the time. And that led me on to sailboat projects with John. But it's quite a nice connection that Tim and I worked so many years ago at John's. And my first sailboat project at John's was an 80-foot, or I think it was 80-foot sailing yacht built at Southern Ocean Shipyard in Poole. And now, at this point, while we're all remote working from home, a yacht that Tim and I have also created called Here Comes the Sun, an 84-meter Amels yacht, has arrived and is actually at the dock in Poole Harbour while all of this is taking place. So it's quite a nice circuitous route that my first project and a much more recent project 34 years later have come from Poole Harbour in England, which you may not expect. It's always difficult to choose one, and I probably can't. I'm proud of all of the projects we've done, but one has to pick Madame Goo because she was such an extreme project. She was with her helicopter hangar in the bow, with her tender garages, custom tenders, custom helicopter built that we designed, and everything from every single detail of that yacht we had to create from scratch uniquely. Well, design advice. I think one's always learning from everything you do every day, and if one listens, there's advice coming at you all the time about how to do it, how not to do it. And the typical answer is never to say no, which Walter Hausman taught me. Never say no, never say no. John Vandenberg taught me. But I think one client did tell me something which I've repeated many times to everyone in our studio, is that Paul Fireman, our client for the Fed ship we designed, called Soulmates. He said to me, Andrew, when I say yes, stop selling. What he meant was that as a designer, I love design talk, and I like to talk about the design ideas as we all do. And learning to stop selling what you have designed when you hear the word yes is as important as having that chance to sell it to the client and show it to the client. Clients don't like to be told the same story again and again. They're time poor and they want to move on to the next exciting idea that they're going to say yes to. So learning when to stop and to listen to the word yes is very important. I think I'm very lucky. I live in the country, and I'm lucky to go to the sea and go sailing. I'm lucky to have traveled. I think at this point, while we are all remote working, here I am sitting at home and doing this interview by video for Boat International, and it's made it very clear to me how much traveling I've done in the last 45 years of my career. The amount of places I've traveled to: New York, incredibly inspiring; Beijing, fantastic, never miss it. Go to the palaces, go around Beijing, find the restaurants, the food, the architecture, visiting shipyards in Holland, in Germany, visiting in Italy, working with a crazy shipyard in Athens. There is inspiration everywhere. Crazy designs. I would probably feel that every design we've ever been invited to work on has been a crazy design. It's one of those things that if you don't push yourself, then the designs can become pretty uninteresting. You have to challenge yourself, and by challenging, the designs can become crazy. The shipyards can say no. The owners can say, give me more, find something new for me to have on this boat or in this house or this plane. Every single one is crazy. Madame Goo was crazy. A good design. Well, I think it's pretty clear when I look at a drawing within the studio or look at a painting on the wall, what works and what doesn't work. It's an extraordinary thing that you can walk into an art gallery and find one painting among hundreds that you really love. Is that the good design, the great painting? You can go to a boat show, walk around it and say, I've found nothing that I like. Or you can go there and say, I found 3 that I think are great designs. To me, a great design is one of balance and proportion. I think if you don't have some form of fluidity between bow and stern, a shear line, if you don't have the right balance of profile, superstructure to hull, I think if you don't have the right lifestyle, but lifestyle can be changed as we all change how we enjoy being afloat. But good design is developing with every single project. Well, I was lucky enough to be invited by Jeannot to design a 64-footer with Philippe Briand. And it allowed me to dream of what I would like one day to own, how I would like to sail, whether I wanted a boat that I could try and handle without any crew. I wanted a boat that I could fit some crew on if necessary to charter. I wanted to understand what the market wanted. And it became a vessel that I was designing something around, a sort of a unit of design. And it allowed me to put a lot of thought with all the team and with Philippe and his team and Eric of the shipyard and his team into this project, which at the time was and still is the biggest yacht sailing boat project that Jeannot have created. And it's also been, I think, one of the most successful projects that they've ever done. It's the most successful 64-foot production boat project ever created. And I was lucky enough to to buy one at the end. When I'm not designing yachts, I am dreaming of design nearly all the time.